is here! The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here!
Hello and hello. Welcome back to the Undisputed Champ YouTube boxing channel. We're back. If you like the videos, like, subscribe, share the channel and comment, and let's get into the video of today. Today we're talking super middleweights, super middleweight supremacy, super middleweight all the marbles, super middleweight undisputed. Let's go. We have Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant, 6th of November for the undisputed champ at super middleweight. I'm looking forward to this fight. I'm looking forward to this fight because on this channel we're called the Undisputed Champ, and this is for an undisputed fight. And we've been very lucky recently. We've been getting a few undisputed fights, and I think that's been brought about because of the pandemic. Fighters are not getting the purses that they're used to, and for them to get the purses that they need to get, they have to fight the best. And this is what the pandemic has produced. It's sort of given us less boxing, but it's given us higher quality boxing. So it's one of the two, take the rough with the smooth. Going into this fight, looking at Canelo Alvarez, he's on a fantastic run at the moment. A fantastic run. He stopped Kovalev. He made Callum Smith turn into a track star the way he was running around the ring. He smashed up Yildirim. And he smashed up Billy Joe Saunders. Made Billy Joe Saunders quit. He's on a fantastic run. He's only lost one fight to Floyd Mayweather. It looks like his skills are just getting better and better, and his punching power is getting better and better. And he's a nightmare for anyone right now, to be honest. He's a nightmare to prepare for, and he's a nightmare to fight, because this run that he's on, he's short, he's stocky, but he's powerful. He's looking like his endurance is better than it's ever been. He's just looking like a nightmare for anybody in the ring. And then we have Caleb Plant. And Caleb is actually, his style, and just as a guy, he's one of my more favoured boxers. I like his style. I like how he tries to use sort of the Black American style, the slick style. He's very slick with his punches. He's defensively sound, and he's got a little bit of pop as well. He keeps people honest. No one can rush in on Caleb, because if you rush in, he's catching you clean with a right hand. I know he's trained out in the Mayweather gym before, but he's definitely picked up some traits of Mayweather and people like Andre Ward, that sort of style, and it's clear to see. But unfortunately, Caleb's run is just night and day to Canelo's. His run is just disappointing. He's still undefeated, but with names like Mike Lee, I didn't hear of him before the fight, haven't heard of him after the fight. Caleb Truax, washed up, never really did. I know he beat James DeGale, but then lost in the rematch to DeGale. Just, yeah, terrible opponent. And Jose Uzcategui. At the time, it looked like a good opponent, but Jose's gone on to do nothing at the weight, and yeah, just over time, it's looking less and less of an impressive win. Caleb has managed to show, not even show up, but he's done his job in all of the fights, and he's never looked like he was going to lose the fight, but the names are just not impressive. You can't really compare Mike Lee up to Sergey Kovalev. You can't compare Caleb Truax up to Callum Smith. It's impossible. But the thing, delving deeper into the fight, the thing that I do think Caleb has going for him, he has the style that has been proven to give Canelo problems. Canelo's had problems previously in his career with slick fighters. He lost to Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather schooled him. Yes, Canelo was young in his boxing career. He had about 40 fights, but he was a young man back then, but Mayweather schooled him. Then he went on to fight Austin Trout, another slick southpaw. Again, Canelo struggled. Many people think that Canelo lost that fight. Then the Erislandy Lara fight, another slick southpaw. Canelo struggled. And many people think Canelo lost that fight. Canelo hasn't looked impervious to this slick style, and that's the style that Caleb has. He has the slick Black American style, and Canelo's had issues with it. So much issues that he's tried to incorporate some of that into his game, and he's done it successfully. He's taken some of that style, the head movement. Canelo has great head movement now, sort of the shoulder roll in spots, and he's tried to incorporate that into his style because he knows that is his kryptonite. It's going to be a very interesting fight, and I think it's going to be a two-halved fight. I recently saw some of Tim Bradley's comments on what he thinks the fight will look like, and I pretty much agree. It's going to be a two-halved fight. It's going to be a two-halved fight. I think Caleb is going to look very slick in the beginning, similar to how Billy Joe looked, but even more impressive to Billy Joe, because I think Caleb has more heart than Billy Joe. And not a knock on Billy Joe, just some people have more heart than other people, and that's just what it is. But I think Caleb has more heart than Billy Joe, and he's going to be able to sort of stand in the pocket a little bit more with Canelo and try and slip those punches while he's still sharp, while he's still fresh, try and slip those punches, get his own off, pop his right hands out. And I think that's going to work well for him early in the fight. The danger, and it's what's been getting everybody, the danger is the second half of the fight. And this is where Canelo has recently been getting stronger. He turned into sort of a Terminator. He'll ride your punches early. He'll even walk through some of your punches. But that second half of the fight, when he's been digging them body shots in, them left hooks to the body, boy, oh boy, he's been crumbling opponents. And that's Caleb's danger. The second half of the fight, if Caleb starts to slow down, he isn't sharp, he's not on his P's and Q's anymore, he's on his toes, Canelo is going to start firing those left hooks to the body. Canelo is going to start walking Caleb down, and Canelo is just going to try to start dominating Caleb and mentally dominating him, physically dominating him. And it's just, it's going to be a very, very tough fight. Very, very tough fight for Caleb. Very, very tough fight. I've never seen Caleb in a real dogfight, partly because he's been more skilled than all of his opponents, but also partly because the level of the opponent has been low. If he wants to win this fight, he has to take this not necessarily to the trenches, but he has to be willing to be in the trenches, because that's the only way he's going to win this fight. He has to be willing to stand with Canelo and to stay moving your head and stay moving your waist and try and get your punches off, try and counter and stay out of the way. He has to study that Floyd Mayweather fight. Yes, Canelo's improved since the Mayweather fight, but he needs to study it the way Mayweather did it. Mayweather never ran from Canelo. Mayweather stood in front of Canelo, but moved his head. He moved his waist. He used his shoulder roll, and then he fired back. That's the thing that people always miss. Mayweather fired back, and that's what Caleb is going to have to do. He's going to have to fire back. There is some controversy surrounding the Canelo camp, and I hate to do this, but I feel like every time I talk about Canelo, I always have to bring this up. And before it was, I hope it doesn't rear its ugly head again. I hope we can put it behind us. But this time, someone in Canelo's camp, Oscar Valdez, has popped dirty for PEDs. He's been allowed to fight, disgusting. And Canelo's trainer is the head guy in the camp. So it brings into question Canelo. And as Tim Bradley also said, he said Canelo has been getting stronger in second half of the fights, and he never used to do that. He used to always get tired in the second half of the fight. Go back and look at the Austin Trout fight. Go back and look at the Miguel Cotto fight. He used to get tired in second halves of the fight. But now he looks like the Terminator. He's just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And yes, he's not failing drugs tests, but we know that stuff can be manipulated and certain strings can be pulled, and even if he does fail drugs tests, apparently it doesn't matter anyway. So I just hope and pray that Canelo is just not on PEDs, because it's just going to tarnish. The sport's already tarnished, but it's just going to tarnish all of his wins. It's a horrible look. It's a horrible look. So I just hope he's not on PEDs. But all I can do is hope. I do have my suspicions now, especially now another guy in his camp has been popped. And I hope that we get a clean fight. When it comes to picking, I want to pick Caleb because I just like Caleb's style. I like Caleb's style. I like the fact that he's now working with Andre Ward and Virgil Hunter to help improve that style, to help to work on game plans for Canelo. But it just looks so difficult. The task at hand just looks too difficult. Maybe if he had more experience fighting tougher opposition, I could more confidently pick Caleb. But I can't. Not right now, anyway. Not right now. I can't confidently pick Caleb. And right now, I'm edging towards Canelo. And for now, my pick will be Canelo by... I think Caleb's got heart. He might get dropped, but I think he'll get back up. And I'll say Canelo on points, maybe with a couple knockdowns in there as well. But you never know. Maybe as the fight gets a bit closer and we see more of the fight, pre-fight build-up, we see a bit more with the press conference, we see the weigh-ins, it might change my mind. But at the moment, I've got Canelo on points, possibly with knockdowns by Canelo as well. Anyway, thanks. On to the next one.